everyone, and welcome to our U.S. Embassy live chat on student visas. We want to congratulate all the students that have been accepted to study in the United States. Mabruk. We're coming live to you here from Northwestern University in Qatar, one of the 6 U.S. satellite campuses that are here in Doha, and we will be answering all your questions on student visas today.
So this chat will be saved on our YouTube channel, so you can go back and watch it again. And if you haven't seen our student visa video already, be sure to check it out. I'll take you through the entire visa application process from start to finish. Links to our website and all of our social media accounts can be found on this webpage. So here with us today is Jake, a consular officer at the embassy, and he's here to answer all of your visa questions.
Ahlan wa sahlan, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and a big thank you to Northwestern for letting us use this awesome facility. I've been in Qatar about 6 months now, and I've had the chance to visit almost half of the US universities that have campuses here. They're beautiful, the students are smart. I've really been impressed, but that is not why we're here. Today, we're here to talk to students who actually want to go to the United States. So we're going to answer all of your visa questions, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you have for us.
All right, Jake, so to get us started, could you tell us a little bit or give us an overview about the student visa application process?
Sure. So this process can be overwhelming for a lot of people. So first of all, don't think that you have to memorize all of this right now. The embassy has made an excellent video that not only walks through the process, but it also shows you inside the embassy, so you can see what to expect when you show up for your visa interview. We will share that link to the video in the comments. So here's the process. The first step actually starts with the university that you've been admitted to in the United States. They will provide you a certificate that certifies that you are eligible to be a non-immigrant student in the United States. You're going to hear us say this a lot today, but the informal name for that certificate is the I-20. The I-20 is a very important document, and you cannot move through the rest of the steps in the visa process until you get that document. The next step in the process is for you to go online and fill out the DS-160, which is the visa application for a non-immigrant visa to the United States. The link to fill out that application is also available on our embassy's website. Once you fill out that application, you will have to pay the $160 application fee for the non-immigrant visa, and you will also have to pay the $200 student visa fee, which we will also refer to as the SEVIS fee. Once you've paid all of those fees, you will get a receipt that will let you go back online and schedule an appointment to come into the embassy to interview for your visa. On the day of your appointment, you will have to show up to the embassy with all of the documents you will need for a student visa. We can talk about those a little later, but in general, you will need your passport, your I-20, and some other supporting documents we talk about on the website. You will come in and you will talk to a consular officer like me, where we will ask you some basic questions about the kind of program that you want to go to and how you're going to pay for your program in the United States. If your application doesn't need any additional processing and we don't have any additional questions for you, and you qualify for the student visa, your visa should be approved the same day, and you can expect to have your passport back in 2 or 3 days. Again, that's a complicated process. Don't feel like you have to memorize all of it. Check out the video that we've made on the student visa application process, and it actually walks you through everything you have to do.
Great, thanks, Jake. So one of the most common questions we receive from students is, when should I start applying for my visa?
So we would encourage students to apply as early as possible, but you need your I-20 before you can apply for a student visa. So you should already be talking to your school in the US, giving you the requisite paperwork so you can come in and apply. As soon as you have that I-20, we would recommend you get started on the visa process and try and book an appointment. There are some limitations on how far out we can issue a student visa, though. The embassy is not able to print a student visa until you're 120 days away from the start date that's listed in your I-20. So we would recommend that you apply as early as you can in case there are some extra steps or processing that we have to do. But keep in mind that there are some limitations on how early you can apply and have the visa printed.
Okay, well, what if a student wants some extra time before classes start, to just get ready for school? Can they come to the US early?
Right, so we understand that moving to the United States is a big transition. Starting college is a big transition. There are some limitations on how early you can enter the United States on a student visa. So once you have your student visa, you cannot enter the country until 30 days before the start date of your program. If you think that you need some extra time to look for an apartment, find a car, or maybe your parents want you to have a little extra time and help you get set up, you need to apply for a tourism visa, a B1, B2 visa. You can apply for a student visa and a tourism visa at the same time, but you will have to pay the application fees for both. Once you have your student visa and your tourism visa, you can enter the United States on your tourism visa, spend as much time as you need getting ready for class, finding an apartment, and then you will have to switch over to your student status inside the United States. To do that, you will have to work with US Customs and Immigration to switch over to your student status. We have a link to their website that we can post in the comments as well. And if this is an option that you think you might want to pursue, we would encourage you to check out the USCIS website for more information.
Hi, everyone. If you're just joining us right now, we're having a live chat on our Facebook platform on student visas. If you've missed any questions or answers, don't worry. We're actually going to be posting all of this information in our social media, which includes our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter, and our YouTube page. We're going to move on to the next question now, Jake.
Sure.
Can you talk a little bit about documents? What documents should the students bring in preparation for their interview?
Right. So here's the basic set of documents that you will need. It's a visa interview, so you will definitely need your passport. We've talked about how important the I-20 is as well. You will need to bring your I-20 with you to the visa interview as well. You should bring the DS-160 confirmation page. This is the confirmation page with a barcode on it that shows you have filled out the visa application online. You should also bring the receipt with you that shows you've paid that visa application fee, and the SEVIS receipt that shows you've paid the SEVIS fee as well. You should bring any evidence that shows how you're going to be able to pay for your program in the United States. This might be different depending on your situation. You may have a scholarship, you may have support from your parents or from a job. So whatever your situation is, you should bring evidence that shows that you will be able to pay the costs of your program in the United States. Depending on the program that you're going to, you may need to bring some additional information that proves your previous educational background. For example, if you're going into a master's degree or a PhD program, the embassy may want to see evidence that you've completed a bachelor's degree or a master's degree before that. If you're going into undergraduate school, you may want to bring evidence that shows you have completed high school. This is a big, long list of documents. Don't feel like you have to memorize all of this now. There's excellent information on our embassy's website and on US travel docs that explains the documents that are required the day you come in for your visa interview. So if you don't remember what we've just explained, feel free to check out those websites and they will help jog your memory.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jake.
Sure.
So during the year, students will travel back and forth to visit family for Ramadan, for the holidays. So when a student returns to Qatar for a visit and wants to return back to school, can they use the same visa to enter the United States?
Absolutely. So we understand that you get homesick, you want to come home for holidays, and your student visa does let you come in and out of the United States and return home to visit friends and family or take a break from school. You do need to keep a couple of things in mind, though. Before you go back to the United States to start your study again, you need to make sure that your student visa is still valid, and you also need to make sure that you are still active in the SEVIS system. We've talked about this a little bit already, but the SEVIS system is the system that your university in the United States monitors, and they essentially sponsor you to be in the United States. So you are authorized temporary breaks from school to go home, but you need to keep your university informed so they know that you'll be leaving the United States and keep them informed on when you will be coming back.
Great.
So in terms of the interview process, Jake, can you tell us a little bit about at what time should students arrive at the embassy? Should they be aware of anything in preparation to their visit to the embassy?
Right. So after you've completed the application and you have an interview time, we recommend that you show up 15 minutes before that interview time. We also recommend that you try and travel light. You should bring the documents that we've discussed before, but you should try to leave anything else at home. There are some limitations on what you will be allowed to bring inside the embassy. So if you have big bags, laptop computers, iPads, we recommend that you leave those in your car or at home. There is a spot where you can leave your cell phone before you come into the embassy. Remember that you will not be allowed to bring your phone inside the embassy. So if you have electronic copies of any documents that you think you might need to show in your interview, you should print those out so you're ready to have paper copies to show the consular officer.
Great. One of our students asked about working in the United States. Can you talk a little bit about the work options available to students?
So there are some limitations on the kind of work that you can perform while you're in the United States on an F or a student visa. In the first year of your academic program, you can only work on campus, and you will have to work with your university to get set up in a job. There are also some limitations on how many hours you can work as well. After you've completed a year of study, there are a couple more options that are available to you, but those options have to be connected to your academic program. Those options are curricular practical training, optional practical training, and then there's a special form of optional practical training for people in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The most common program that we see people use is optional practical training, or OPT for short.
Actually, Jake, can you talk a little bit more about OPT? We get a lot of questions about it, so if you can describe the program.
Sure. I've seen a lot of students take advantage of OPT. It's an excellent opportunity to combine some practical experience with your time in the classroom. You have to work through your international student office at your university to sign up for OPT. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, you should talk to your student advisor, and they will change your SEVIS status over to enable you to go into OPT status. You're authorized a maximum of 12 months of OPT over the course of your student visa. You can do some of that before you graduate, you can do some of that after you graduate, but you are only allowed to do 12 months total. So if you do 6 months before you graduate, you only have 6 months left after you graduate. Again, you have to work with your student affairs office to get switched over from student status to OPT status. There are a couple of important forms that you have to fill out that are connected to the Department of Homeland Security that authorize you to work in the United States. So your university can also help you fill out those forms as well.
Okay. So college is a really exciting time for students.
It is.
And for many of them, it'll be their first time traveling or living in the United States. What advice do you have to share with our students?
Sure. I could share a lot of advice. I don't want to take all day. If our students have specific questions or things they're worried about, I would encourage them to check out the Education USA website, part of the logo on this mug here. There's some excellent information to get students ready to go and study in the United States, information about American culture and traditions. But I will just cover some basic things that I want to point out based on things I've seen in the consular section. First of all, the United States is a huge country. Take advantage of the time you have while you're there. Get out and see things. Every part of the United States is unique, so go take a break from school, study hard, but take a break from school and go see some of the exciting things that the United States has to offer. I do want to caution students, though, that if you are in the United States and you have issues with law enforcement or issues with your visa, these could present some pretty significant problems for you. If you don't go to class, if you have poor grades, these can also present problems for your visa. So college is a great time to meet new people and have exciting new experiences. think about some of those experiences, try to stay out of trouble, because if for any reason you have issues, for example, with the police or with your visa, that could prevent you from going back to college, and that could wreck your entire plan.
Really good.
So I think we still have a little bit of time, and I can see a few of the questions that have been submitted. So actually, Jake, can you answer one of these questions? For example, let's say that I have a visitor visa, tourism visa, or I'm part of the visa waiver program. Can I travel to school with that?
So generally not. Okay. There are a few academic things that you can do on a B1, B2 visa or on visa waiver, but if you're going to go to the United States and enter into a formal academic program that is going to grant some kind of certificate, some kind of diploma, or academic credit from a US institution, you will need a student visa, or what we call an F visa. There are a couple of things that you can do on a tourism visa or on a visa waiver program if you are from one of the countries that qualify. An example of that might be if you're going to a short leadership seminar or course or some short trainings. The list is pretty long, so if you have concerns or questions, you can start with the information that's on our website. There's some excellent information about the many kinds of things that you can do on a B1, B2 visa. You might be surprised the kinds of things you can do on a tourism visa. If for whatever reason you still have concerns and you're not sure if you have the right kind of visa, you're welcome to send us an email at consulardoha@state.gov. That will put you in touch with people like us who can do a little bit more research on your case and try and point you in the right direction.
Great. So students going for a short summer program probably don't need a visa.
Well, you need a visa. It depends on the type of program. Right. So it depends on the program. Again, if you're going for formal academic credit at a U.S. university or some kind of formal institution, you are probably going to need a student visa. You should keep in touch with your university, which should have a representative who can help you answer some of these questions. If you're going for something shorter, a training course, a professional education course, a leadership seminar, you will probably be able to do that on a tourism visa. And again, if you're not sure, check our website or feel free to contact us.
So another question that we got, Jake, is say, for example, my family wants to travel with me for my program. Can they come? What is the process? Is it also a student visa that they have to go?
Okay. Some family members are eligible to travel with you as part of your student visa, but it depends on the type of family member we're talking about. So let's be a little more specific. If you have a spouse or you have children, they are eligible to apply for what's called an F2 visa, which is the dependent of a student. So their visas are essentially connected to the student visa that you have. If this is something that you're interested in, you will have to talk to your program in the United States, and your university will actually issue separate I-20s for your children or for the spouse that you want to go live with you in the United States during your program. Any other family members, so brothers, sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles, parents, if they want to go visit you while you're in school or they want to go help you get set up in school, they will have to apply for tourism visas, the B1, B2. There are some limitations on the amount of time that they can spend in the United States. Generally, Customs and Border Patrol allows people to enter the country for 6 months at a time. So if you are planning, for example, to have a family member escort you to university in the United States, and they are not a spouse or a child, they will have to apply for a tourism visa, and there are some limitations on how long they can be in the country.
Fair enough. In terms of lengths of stay, can you actually answer how long can a student stay in the U.S. once that student has entered the country?
Sure. So the way our law is written is that on a student visa, you are admitted for the duration of status. That translates into you can stay in the country as long as you are an active student and as long as you have a valid visa. So You need to ensure that you're going to class. You need to keep in touch with your international student office to make sure that you are a student in good standing, an active student who's going to class. If your visa expires and you're still in the United States, once you leave the United States, you will need a new visa to come back into the country. So you can stay for as long as you are a member in an active program and as long as you are in status with that program.
Okay. Wow. It looks like we're almost out of time. But before we go, Jake, do you have any final tips for our students about this visa application process?
Sure. Well, before we leave, I do want to thank Northwestern again for their time and their help and letting us use this awesome facility. Their team has been excellent today. They're just one of many great U.S. universities here in Qatar. So advice for students who want to go to the United States. We've talked about a lot of information today. This entire chat is going to be saved so you can go back and watch it again. We've also posted some great links that walk you through the visa process and even show you in video what it's going to look like when you go and interview for your visa. So all of those resources are available to you. So I will give you one piece of advice. College is an excellent and exciting time for everyone. If you are watching this video, we are excited that you are interested in studying in the United States. Apply, have a great time, be careful, and work hard.
And before we go, make sure you stay in touch with us through our social media platforms. Again, we will be saving this chat on our YouTube channel, but we'll also be sharing all the links on our social media, which includes our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram. So make sure you save, you subscribe, you share our information, and we are happy to see you go to the United States.
Thanks everybody for watching this video. We're so excited that you're interested in studying in the United States. I hope to see you at the embassy soon.
Ma salama.